Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem Master video, and today, I thought I'd talk about a little about Johto, right? Because, I think Johto, characters might be a bit relevant very soon, considering, a few things, right? Well, mainly one, well, okay, a few things. First of all, we almost have all the, most if not all, Johto characters in the game. And second of all, the more important thing, which is, the reason why we're going to talk about this today, is because the Kanto we just had the Kanto villain arc story, and very soon we should be having the Johto villain arc story coming up. If I remember correctly, they said it was going to be December, or was it January? Like late December, early January, somewhere like that, right? We should be getting the next part of the story. Again, I'm not like 100% sure if it's just going to be a continuation of Kanto, or is it gonna actually go into Johto, but regardless, let's talk about Johto. We should be again getting close to that soon, and if that's the case, then I'd say very likely they try to get as many of those Johto characters in the game as possible so they could actually utilize them, because what happened in the Kanto story was basically all the Kanto League folks came out and we're part of the story, right? The gym leaders were all out. The Elite Four were all out. Obviously, Blue was there. Red was there. I guess the only one who wasn't really there was like Professor Oak and like Leaf, I guess, right? I think even Agatha was even there. I thought Agatha was there too, but yeah. Most of the Kanto chairs were part of the story, and I think if they do want to proceed with the Johto story, most likely they would have to fill up the rest of the Johto roster, right, in the game, and they've already started doing that, right? We've gotten Faulkner very recently, right, to fill out one of the final Johto trainers. So let's just have a look at what Johto characters we are sort of missing, and we'll again fill in the blanks and see what potentially could be happening. Obviously, the first one we should probably be looking at is the list of gym leaders, right? And we've gotten everyone except for Chuck. So Chuck is obviously, you know, one of the big ones here, right, that are still left. Obviously a gym leader, very important, etc. And he's the only one missing in terms of the gym leaders. In terms of the Elite Four, we basically have them all, right? Will was at launch, Koga was a bit after launch, Bruno was at launch, Karen was at launch, and Lance came during the new year, right? First year new year. And so we basically have all the Elite Four. We have everyone except for Chuck, so we really aren't missing that many characters from Johto. There are like a few other Johto characters. I mean, these are, I mostly categorize them as Sinnoh, but you know, obviously they also appear in Johto. But so we basically have like most of the Johto characters in. The other big ones are like Eugene, like Professor Elm. There really aren't like too much. Like Eugene, obviously not that, you know, he's not exactly part of the discourse, because he's not, you know, he's like, even if he's in the game, I highly doubt he's gonna be part of the villain arc story, right? If he is, then okay, right? But I don't really see us getting Eugene, right? Because I don't think he's really important in terms of what they're trying to do with the story. And then there's like Professor Elm, which is obviously a professor. I'm still hoping they do, you know, what they did with Professor Oak there with Elm and give him like Celebi or something. But at the moment, it probably seems like that's not happening, just in terms of like pattern wise, because we had Sycamore with Xerneas, and yeah, Sycamore didn't come with another mythical, but he was free though, so maybe we'll still get him like free sometime in the future. And is there anyone else? The Kimono girls aren't really relevant. Kurt isn't super relevant. Does he even have like a Pokemon? Does Kurt have like Shuckle, or am I tripping? Or does he just straight up not have Poke? Yeah, no, Kurt straight up doesn't have Pokemon in game, right? He has something like the manga or whatever, but again, manga is not relevant either. So we'll see. I mean, they could still give us like Kurt with Shuckle or whatever, something in the future, but yeah, at the moment the big one missing does seem to be like it's mainly just Chuck, right? And outside of that, one more really important thing, if they go with the villain arc that they need would be the villains, right? Would be in the villains, because we need the Team Rocket guys, right? Because like Kanto Team Rocket, there really isn't anyone except for like Giovanni, right? But Johto Team Rocket, there's quite a few people in there, right? Because you have Petrol. I don't know how to pronounce his name, bro. The pink, the purple hair dude. Got Proton. There's Ariana, and obviously Archer, right? These are the 4 big ones. I'd say 2 of them are probably a bit bigger than the other 2, just because they also appeared in the Pokemon trailer, Pokemon Masters trailer, right? The launch trailer. So again, most likely these are going to be big as well. So let's talk about them one by one. Obviously, Chuck, I think the very, very, very obvious choice over here is Poliwrath, right? Maybe Primate, but Poliwrath is much, much more of an obvious choice. It is his like ace after all, right? So makes a lot more sense, I'd say. So yeah, it's gonna be like probably like a fighting type Poliwrath, maybe. Again, it could still be Primate, but like mentioned before, Poliwrath just a bit higher chance, right? And honestly, what they could do with Poliwrath could be really, really interesting. They could actually make like a tech fighting Poliwrath, because we don't really have that many like tech fighting. Like the only tech fighting type we have right now is like Hariyama, and obviously he's not very relevant. But yeah, we could actually make him like a pretty interesting tech fighting type with like Dynamic Punch, because Dynamic Punch Dynamic Punch is obviously very, very, very low accuracy, but it also like it could also confuse the opponent, so they can turn him into like some kind of like confusion synergy Dynamic Punch unit, right? Dynamic Punch also, should be a pretty high BP move as well, right? So you could do some like confusion synergy stuff, have his innate sync nuke based on like confusion multipliers, all that stuff, which is really, really nice. So yeah, we'll see how it happens with that, right? I would be really interested to seeing a fighting tech, because like all the fighting types are like we have are like strikers, right? Machamp's a striker, Kelder's a striker, Karina's a striker, Wally's a striker, Starfetch is a striker. Again, the only one is like Hariyama, and Hariyama kind of is like not good. So yeah, I could see them doing like a fighting tech Poliwrath over here, right? I don't know if they'll have hypnosis or not. That might be a bit like, I don't know. It'll be good though. It'll be good. He could be like another like Serena sort of type, right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Chuck. But yeah, I really do think we might be getting Chuck very, very soon. I don't know if we're getting him next month though, because I do think next month very, very likely we'll be getting like a big like Sinnoh month with the release of BDSP, and we also like have a massive lack of Sinnoh trainers in game at the moment. So I think they might be like saving all that stuff for like Brilliant Diamond, whatever the Pearl stood for. Shining Pearl? Oh my god, that's terrible if that's actually Shining Pearl. But yeah, the BDSP release, right? So we should be getting Chuck soon. Again, might not be next month. Might be like the end of next month, or like maybe December. And then again, the Rocket Admins. The Rocket Admins, I could totally see them just releasing it alongside the story, right? As the story happens. And the slight awkward part about the Rocket Admins is that there's like 4 of them, which is like a lot. So you can't just have like a whole month just being like the 4 of them, which would be, slightly boring for a month. And also, I do think they probably would also give us some Sing Suit, gym leaders, or Sing Suit Johto gym leaders, or Sing Suit Johto trainers, when that happens as well, right? So in terms of like who it's gonna be, I don't really know. It's probably just gonna be like the more popular Johto gym leaders. Probably like Jasmine's probably the most popular one, I'd say by far, right? So maybe like a Sing Suit Jasmine, and like who's some Morty. Although like Morty, we already had like 3 different versions of Morty, but like we also have like we also have like 4 different versions of Erica, but like we just got a Morty this month. But then again, Misty just had like an alt like 2 months in a row, right? So it's not impossible for it to be Morty. Again, he is pretty popular. Another one could probably be Claire. Claire's pretty popular as well, being, you know, Lance's cousin, all that stuff. But one I'd actually kind of want to see, even though I'm not a fan of her personally, but like Whitney, I know a lot of people like Whitney, and like the Whitney that we have right now is pretty like bad. Like Whitney is by far the worst Johto gym leader over here, right? Obviously, Faulkner's amazing, Bugsy is incredibly good, right? Morty's okay, Jasmine's okay, right? Price is okay, Claire's usable, right? And like Whitney's just like terrible. So I would personally like a, you know, another version of Whitney over here, right? So yeah, again, we're probably gonna get, you know, Sing-Su versions of some of these. I'd say like there's probably a 90% chance we're gonna get a Sing-Su version of Jasmine. I just don't exactly know who the other one is. Again, it could be Claire, it could be Morty, it could be Whitney, right? Probably not gonna be Bugsy, maybe Faulkner, right? But we'll see, right? But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think we're gonna get a whole month just with Rocket executives over here, right? Might be a bit too much. Might be a bit too much over there, right? And what that does lead us to is how we're gonna get these, because what I could see actually happening is, because again, it does seem like Archer and Ariana are the slightly more important ones, because again, they did appear on the trailers. So maybe we could get like a banner. We could get a banner for Ariana and Archer, and maybe like Proton and Petrol. Those two could be like BP units, because like the other issue with these Rocket admins or Rocket executives is that their Pokemon are duplicate Pokemons that we already have in the game. Obviously, you know, they could release banners with same units, right? They released a, you know, Rayquaza, right? Second Rayquaza, second Charizard, all that stuff. But I'd say more likely that they could actually just be BP units. They could be new BP units. Plus, since we just finished the whole cycle of BP rewards, we need new BP units, right? And I think Petrol and Proton would be perfect fits for new BP units. And again, since they also have, you know, repeat Pokemon over here, right? Generally, this guy's Weezing. Obviously, James has Weezing. This has Weezing, Golbat. Obviously, Koga's, you know, Crobat, right? So they could do BP units for these two. Right, they could do like a flying type Golbat and like a poison type Weezing in the BP units for new 4-stars. And it's not like they haven't debuted new you know, characters in BP. They debuted Evelyn in the BPs section, right? And then these two could like get banners maybe. But in terms of like what they could get in terms of like Pokemon, like I don't really know either, because like these are all taken as well. So I don't know. Although Archer in Let's Go does have Magmar, which is, you know, new, right? So maybe they could give Archer like Magmar or Magmotor, right? So something like that, and then they'll figure out something for Ariana. I don't exactly know what they're gonna give her, but they'll give her something. they'll give her something, right? Either that, or they could make like these two like 4-stars on the banner. Like they could make these two banner 4-stars and these two the banner 5-stars. That would be really, really cool as well. Just like how they did with Rachel and Sawyer, right? In that sense. But yeah, again, we'll see exactly what happens. But yeah, basically, just to wrap up, we're getting the Johto, you know, story sometime soon, probably, right? Assuming the December update's going to be that, and if that's the case, we do need to wrap up these Johto units in the game, which we already have a decent amount of them, right? We just need a few more here and there. Which mainly being Chuck and then the Rocket admins. If they want to put stuff like Yuzi and Professor Almond there, maybe, but again, like I mentioned before, probably not very, very likely, just because, you know, the Professor, some other characters haven't been really relevant in the Kanto story, right? But the other, and Kanto also doesn't have that many characters anyways. Like, outside of gym leaders, Elite Four, there's like Professor Oak, and like, that's kind of it. So maybe the odd Yuzi and maybe not. It just depends on, again, how relevant he is to the story. But yeah, anyways, that's what it is this one. I guess hope you all enjoyed. Guys, think in the comments down below. Like, share this video, start our channel for some more Pokemon content. And I'll see you guys in the next one.